week 21 of the fantasy basketball season, and with the first week of the playoffs starting in most head-to-head leagues. Here's a few centers I looked at off the wire this week. The first center, Nick Richards of the Charlotte Hornets. And Nick Richards, he's just been underappreciated all season in fantasy circles, but he's the old school center. He's going to rebound, block shots, and he's going to have a good field goal percentage on the year. 9.8 points a game, 8.3 rebounds, 1.2 blocks, and 68% from the field. But the last couple weeks, 8.3 points a game, 10.3 rebounds, 64% from the field. So Richards right on the brink of things, available in 50% of fantasy leagues. March 13th at Memphis, 8 points, 5 boards, an assist, 2 blocks, 75% from the field. March 15th versus Phoenix, 2 points, 15 rebounds, 20% from the field. The March 16th, a nice double-double at Philly, 11 points, 11 boards, a steal, a block, 80% from the field. So, like I said, Mark Williams, he's most likely out for the season. This Hornet team playing a lot of the youngsters. And Nick Richards, he's gone out there all year, and he's played good basketball. So right now, while he's out there in 50% of fantasy leagues, and he's going to give you those categories like I mentioned, he's a solid add this week, and he should be owned in way more fantasy week. I've spoken about him on the wire. The next center, Isaiah Stewart of the Detroit Pistons. So Stewart, it's been a solid year for him in the games he has played. I know he missed a lot of time earlier in the year, and then he was suspended a little bit after he got in a scuffle and punched Drew Eubanks, and he was suspended a few games before Suns and Pistons game last month. So on the season, 11 points a game, 6.7 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 1.5 threes, and 48% from the field. But the last couple weeks here for Stewart, 10.4 points a game since he returned, 5.4 boards, an assist, 1.3 threes, and 57% from the field. So Stewart will give you a little bit of everything. Can hit that three ball, pretty decent rebounder. He's got a decent field goal percentage and assists. He's going to give you as well for a big man, 1.5 to 2 per game. March 13th versus Toronto, 15 points, 2 boards, an assist, 3 blocks, 3 threes, 83% from the field. March 15th versus Miami, 10 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, a block, a 3, 66% from the field. The March 17th versus Miami, again, 12 points, 6 boards, an assist, a block, 2 threes, 55% from the field. So right now, while he's out there in 52% of fantasy leagues, he's definitely a solid add this week, I think, is Isaiah Stewart, and he's getting good playing time. And with this Piston team going nowhere, obviously, they're going to play all the young guys like Stewart and see what they got for the future and the remainder of the season. Next ad's Derek Lively of the Dallas Mavericks. So Derek Lively, it's been a pretty solid rookie season for him, in my opinion. On the year, 8.9 points a game, 6.9 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 1.4 blocks, and 75% from the field. So he's the old school type of center as well, like I mentioned, like Nick Richards. Shot blocking, rebounding, and a great field goal percentage. The last couple weeks, 7.7 points a game, 3.8 rebounds, 74% from the field. So Lively, he's been in and out of the lineup of late, but now he's starting to get back into the thick of things, and he's playing good basketball. March 13th versus the Warriors, 12 points, 8 boards, 2 blocks, 75% from the field. March 14th at the Thunder, 4 points, 2 boards, 66% from the field. The March 17th versus Denver, 14 points, 8 boards, 2 blocks, 87% from the field. So what a ball game that one was, where they pulled it out with a crazy Kyrie Irving shot towards the end of that game. So I know there's a lot of big men over there now in Dallas. PJ Washington, they traded for at the deadline. Daniel Gafford, Dwight Powell, Kleber is there as well. But Lively, he's still going out there and getting those 15, 20 minutes per game. And he's maximizing his time with the shot blocking and rebounding and a good field goal. So if you need those categories, he's a solid add this week. And he's available in 56% of fantasy leagues. Next center is Grant Williams of the Charlotte Hornets. So Williams, he qualifies as powered forward and center in fantasy leagues. And right now, he's out there in 69% of fantasy leagues on the year. 9.7 points a game, 4 boards, 1.9 assists, 1.7 threes, and 44% from the field. But the last few weeks, 14.4 points a game, 5.4 boards, 2.8 assists, 1.3 steals, 1.3 threes, and 47% from the field. So Grant Williams, he's been a 4 or 5 category type of player since he got traded to the Hornets and been playing about 25, 30 minutes a game, and he's playing good basketball. March 13th in Memphis, 18 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, a steal, a block, a 3, 54% from the field. March 15th versus Phoenix, 20 points, 6 boards, an assist, a steal, 3 threes, 47%. And March 16th at Philly, 14 points, 3 boards, an assist, a steal, a block, 2 threes, 60% from the field. So right now, Grant Williams, he's a 3-and-D guy, but he's rebounding the basketball well. Steals has always been a good thing for him, and the field goal has been pretty efficient. So right now, like I said, since he's out there in 69% of fantasy leagues, and he's getting very good playing time for this Hornet team, he's a good add this week. In the fifth and final center I looked at off the wire, Zach Collins of the San Antonio Spurs. On the year, 11.3 points a game, 5.3 rebounds, 2.9 assists, and 48% from the field for Zach Collins. So Zach Collins, we know he could do a little bit of everything: decent field goal, decent scoring, decent rebounder of the basketball, and he's playing not major minutes, about 15-20 minutes per game for this Spur team, but he's been a decent bench piece for them over the last few years, and he's contributing. So right now, available in 51% of leagues. March 12th versus Houston, 7 points, 2 boards, and assists, a steal, 2 blocks, 28% from the field. March 15th versus Denver, 13 points, 6 boards, a 3, 62% from the field. The March 17th versus the Nets, 6 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 33% from the field. To Collins, he's not going to give you a lot of categories, 3 or 4 at most, but I think he's pretty efficient off the bench for the Spur team. He's still getting 15 minutes per game, and I think in deeper leagues he's more of an add than anything at the center position. So that's a few centers I look to add here with the first week of most playoff starting in head-to-head leagues for week 21 of the fantasy basketball season.